Well, honestly, the truth is that you've been an actor. And now your actions got them boys dropped the mask up. Lectures from the devil got you piping hot. This up and you get screwed and chopped, no Michael Watts. When I was 10, I knew I should have been on rap a lot. Think like Jay Prince and I do more than just rap a lot. I went and got my digits up. Your favorite, bruh.
I went and got my
Hold on, move
digits up.
the 25th, I got a meeting with the
Uh-oh.
governor. That's your rap a lot, no cap a
Texas Heat. Man, hope y'all doing well tonight. Man, we're in season 2. Don't ask me how we finally got here, but we are in season 2. We got, of course, I got my co-host Ivan on the show,
Yes, sir.
and we are doing the first show of the season. Um, we figured
Man,
we
is it the first show?
first show of the season,
Whew. Man, that's crazy.
and it's definitely been it's been an interesting one so far. Um, I think we've learned a lot about I think each user's team so far this year. I think one thing that we've learned this season is um, we've learned the difference between the impact of comp. We've seen some arguments in chat kind of surrounding that, which we're going to get to. We've
Yep.
we've seen some high levels of gameplay. We've seen some low moments in the league with a few users. We've had some trades that have happened early in the season. So just real quick, just kind of looking over between, I mean, obviously we need to go back to the Super Bowl and
Man,
congratulates the Colts over his win over the Vikings.
congrats indeed.
And then we had an interesting offseason. I mean, guys, I know y'all were frustrated. I was frustrated with the whole draft situation. I mean, I felt like I basically spent the whole year tanking for no reason. In
Mm,
between, guys made the playoffs. We had some pretty good games in the playoffs. Uh, a lot of close games. In the playoffs, a few blowouts, but ultimately playoffs were pretty decent. And then just jumping over to up to the season now. Um, there have definitely been some good games played so far during the season. Some close, some not. And then even as well as in week 2, between season week 1 and week 2, we had some pretty good games. And now we have rolled over to finish week 3. Um, I don't necessarily care to speak on week 3 that much, mainly because this one's majority about to be over. We only have a few games left on the schedule. I think the few games that we could probably highlight that are left on the schedule would probably be football team and the Eagles. I think the Eagles are 2-0 at this point. Uh, and J Stack I think is 1-1, so this is a big game. Um, I mean, Ivan, you're in the NFC, obviously, so you have a better perspective of both of these users,
I
same
mean,
division.
am I in the NFC?
I mean, you definitely haven't started like you're in the NFC.
no, man, uh, gee whiz, man. Does feel good to be back on the show. Does feel good to be talking about this. I don't get to say it a lot, but definitely enjoy the league. I think of it as a really cool way to have some fun, have some competition. Uh, meet some folks you'd never meet otherwise, and I think that's pretty cool. I said all that to say, um, I said it last year, and it's starting to look like this might, I knew I had 1 year to go, and I'm just looking at the team that came back this year, and The draft didn't do what I was hoping it would do, but yeah, no. If I have to pick between the Eagles and the football team, I think well, I'm just looking at how the football team has come out here to start. Um, so they definitely look like they are way more focused than they were last year.
Which
Um,
which team?
Football team, they look like they're way more focused than they were last year. Um, well, no, 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 the Eagles,
Okay,
Eagles. I'm
okay.
sorry, the Eagles.
No,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
good.
that's
You
what I
good.
meant. That's what I meant. Eagles looks way more focused than they did last year, but um, you know, I've always given respect to JB Stack. Um, I
I have
think it's
no
gonna be a
respect for
good
him.
game. Okay, okay,
I'm,
okay. That's a
I'm
that's a
bullshitting. I'm bullshitting. I'm
that's a
bullshitting.
that's a, that's a high honest take right there. Um, I don't think I've ever picked against. I haven't picked against him yet. So I'm gonna go ahead and break tradition. I'm gonna go ahead and call the Eagles on this one,
Um,
just for the sole purposes of starting shit. I'm gonna go ahead and call the Eagles on this one.
yeah, I think J Stack is going to have a good year. Um, another hot take is Fred just said he thinks he's going to get more than 5 wins this year. We will carry on. But
Wow, that's a hot
um,
take.
there's definitely been some big games to start the season, some big wins for different users. I was just kind
Whoa,
of
hey, hey, I do not mean to stop the show, but I just saw, oh no, it's past 10 o'clock, and it does appear, yes, if what I'm seeing on here is correct, yes, we do have live listening. The Civil War veteran is in the chat, and he is listening, so I just want to acknowledge, I wanted to acknowledge and let them know that yes, this is really happening. You are not having a bad dream, Paul Paul. You are listening to the radio show. Go ahead, continue, JB. Go ahead.
absolutely. So the Chargers and Patriots had a big game the first week. It's like the Chargers pulled that one out.
Mhm.
So that was a big game. And then I'm, just kind of going through, week one. I don't think there were too many scores. I think Brad winning week one, that kind of shocked me against him pulling out the Steelers. That was a good guy. Not really a shock. They really kind of have a similar style in some ways, the way they play offense. Rams and Panthers was a very close game. I think the Panthers has lost a few close games to start the year.
I think
Uh,
all of his losses have been pretty close.
yeah, and then the Seahawks got a huge, let me not say not week one. Falcons pulled out I mean, he came back with the level of disrespect he felt and came back. And then there was a forced win there, and then of course the Raiders pulls out a close game against DTZ, and then of course the Colts did start the season the way I kind of expected. Week two, it kind of continued. That was a fair sim between the Colts and the Giants. Uh, Packers gets his second win in a row, I think, at that point. Top and Ben, that was a great game to finish out. Top got that game. Uh, Philly and this one, I believe, yeah, this was also a sim there, but there were a few games that I think up to this point, Atlanta pulling out the game against Isaiah. Isaiah's taken two tough losses to start the year, which I kind of expected. I expected him to not so much in regards to the taking the L's. I just expected the competition to raise in the second season against him, where I thought last season his schedule favored him more so than it does this year. So he had some, of course, big games up to this point. I mean, Rome takes a game against Jay Rose, which I'm not sure if he got one last year. Um, so yeah, I mean, some big games that were up to that point, and then of course we're sitting in week three. Um, you and the Falcons played again. I mean, you can definitely tell that it's personal for Justin James this season just by looking at the scores between you two. And then another close game for Papo where he just loses another close game. This
no, that one's on Madden. That was I've not seen one like that in a long time.
and then you have the well, Danny calls him the stretch machine and Earl. Um, the Eagles and football team. I'm still kind of up in the air because I think they had a first game was a forced win. So this is a big game in a lot of ways because the Eagles got a force. So
Well,
if he wins this game,
they actually played that game, and remember EA reset. So and that was I didn't know he played them the first week.
yeah,
I know that. Oh wow, yeah. So the Eagles actually got that win the first
yeah,
week.
he got that game the first week. And then I think this one will be a force. The Pittsburgh gets a big game over Ben. Cleveland shuts out Money Mike, which is not entirely surprising because he's not really a heavy offensive guy. I think he's more
Hmm.
defensive. If his defense isn't there, I think it just really hurts him. Me and Gruski, I mean, honestly, I didn't even know how to feel when that game was over because it could have went either way. Pull out a tight one there. And one time out of nowhere is 2-1. I didn't expect him to be 2-1 at this point, but he's 2-1, so
Yeah.
he's figured something out. Of course, the Bills and I think they were both 2-0 at this point. The Bills pulled out a game over Mike. Colton Texans is still a game that I'm kind of curious to see. I think one if they play and who pulls that out, and then the game that I thought we were going to have a UFC match in the chat. Brad beats Rome, and let me tell you, there was furniture moving from one side, and and
Oh
and
wow.
the other side was just not respecting any jabs. So it'll be really interesting to see how this plays out by the time we get to uh, I think the playoff picture, and then of course Jay Rose gets his revenge against Isaiah, and he does it in a big way.
Wow,
Again,
that's massive.
yeah, I think no shock there. And again, I do think that I think what's going to hurt Isaiah this year is going to be his schedule. I do think he's a top player in the league. I just think that very similar to how I saw the Colts season last year when he got into the playoffs was I thought who he had to beat to get to the Super Bowl benefited him a lot. Um, and ultimately, he made it to the Super Bowl. Congrats to him as well as Isaiah. Then, of course, the Dolphins will get a forced win. Jumping over to week 4, of course, everybody understands the situation with the Jets at this point. So Isaiah will get him an easy dub week 4. And then you have the rematch of Earl and Mike. So who do you think pulls this game out? The first one, I believe Mike won by 3.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you can, I mean, ugh, that's gonna be a tough one, man. I don't know. Like the one thing I noticed about the schedules this year is that you have division games
Back to
like
back. Like,
back to back
hmm
early in the year.
hmm
So like that is that's kind of surprising. Um, just because it's still early, I'm gonna say that hmm, that's a tough one. I want to say Packers, but I'm thinking, maybe Earl found something playing Danny. I don't know if there's a certain play that he rediscovered or not, but
strictly
hmm.
to the left or right.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, sometimes you gotta do some yoga, you gotta reach, stretch, things of that nature. Um,
I think Mike wins it. I think Mike beats him both times. I think the thing about, and this has been my thing about Earl picking the team like the Lions is you take away if you take away Earl's run and you stop the outside pass, he has
mhm.
no offense. That's the problem with the style. And again, I feel like certain styles are great when you have the right pieces. And I just think that Lions team, if they just he still has a way to go. I think to get them to a place to where I don't think Earl will see the playoffs. The entire I don't expect him to see the playoffs at any point. This Madden, unless everybody just quits in the NFC. I just don't see it coming. Um, but I think no disrespect to Earl. I just that team. What do they have on offense that when you play them, you go, this could be a problem? Because you can man the tight end.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, I mean, you can. I'm not trying to just give Earl's game away. I mean, I'm just saying you can. There are specific parts of his game plan that I think, um, with as heavy of a team that Mike has with Green Bay, especially on defense, that he should be able to exploit. But um, Packers or Lions, who do you got?
I'm gonna be the contrarian. I'm gonna take Earl. I'm gonna take Earl on this one.
And then we got the Jags and the football team. Um, this is this is an interesting game because I think Top's playing to play this year.
He's
Um,
playing way different this year.
yeah, he's playing. I mean, he's definitely put up more points so far this season than he did last season. So it looks
Hmm.
like he's kind of figured out how to play with those Jags. But he's got J Stack, and I mean, Buddy's no slouch. Do you think this is kind of a rivalry game? Not really.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah, it is.
there's some personal slash. They had a few jabs in the chat.
There's some friction. There's some
That's yeah.
friction.
They
That's all. There's a little friction. A little friction is healthy. That's all.
and
Um,
yeah. So go ahead. Who do you think pulls this one out?
ah, I think it's gonna be a good game to watch. I'm gonna lean. Just because it's in Washington, I'm gonna lean that way. Momentum matters so much on this game is ridiculous. Um, but I don't know, man. Like Top's been playing some good ball. I've heard as one illustrious coach in the league would say, he's been playing some hell of a goddamn ball. So I don't know. I'm going to lean towards the football team on this one, but I do think it's going to be potential game of the week right there. I think that is definitely one to watch.
Absolutely. I think yeah. This one's tough because it depends. I mean, it comes down to Top's game, and I haven't seen. Only game I saw him was when he played Ben, and that was kind of a high scoring, but been through some picks. So I mean, you gotta erase like 16 points and say to yourself, what would be the difference? It's hard to really say, but I do think that uh, I think football team just has the. I think he has the better team going into the game at this stage. Um, I can't say 100% that he's the better user though. It's hard for me to pick the Jags just because I think J Stack has much more competitive competition week to week at this point. Um, where this I think would be Top's first really. I don't know if you'd say big game, but definitely a test. I mean, I don't even see if they played week 3. Yeah, so
So
he's getting a force against the Giants. Tristan he bought his internet at Dollar General, so he's got to figure that out.
oh man, jeez.
Yeah, he's got that he got that dial up, but yeah, I'm gonna go with the football team as well. And then we have Mr. Turn Your Water Off in the Buffalo Bills
Man,
against the Jacob, which again, surprised he lost last week, but Bills and Raiders, who do you have here?
Man, I'm going with the Bills because I think the Bills, I think they're back. Um, and like I think my favorite part of this game is the front office making trades, building teams. This man goes out there every week and he puts DeAndre Hopkins, Tyler Lockett, and Odell Beckham Jr. out there and says, do something about it. That'll make you better. Like, I'm just saying. Like, that's how you. I mean, it is really it's scary out there. And you got Knox at tight end running 87. There's a lot of speed. There's a lot of route running out there. There's hands out there.
And I think the scariest part about his team to me is actually the fact that I think what makes this team so nasty to me right now is that
Mm,
when you have weapons like that, the fact that you have to respect them
can't
opens
sleep on any of it.
it opens up the run so much. And I was looking at
Lenny.
I was kind of looking at the stats between his last game with I think when he played Mike, and the first thing that stuck out to me was it wasn't his passing game that was the biggest
Hmm.
part of this game. He ran for 132 yards. And so I think what happened if I was assessing the game from the perspective of just watching, I think what happened in that game was Mike was so concerned about stopping the pass that Fournette just lived his best life. And so in the case that with this team as stacked as it is on the offense, um, it's hard not to select the Bills. I think for a lot of weeks this season. And then you have the Patriots and Dolphins. Mike going Money Mike against going against Fred. I don't think this one is a good I spend a lot of time on. I think if you pick the team that has an animal on it, has a has I don't
It's a mammal.
know
It's a mammal. Yeah.
I don't know
Hmm.
like where we go from here at that point because the
So you
Patriots are
saying so you're saying if you were to pick a team that happened to reside in South Beach, that's a red flag, is what you're saying.
I'm saying if you don't believe that hurricanes are real,
Mm, okay. Okay.
then I'm fine with that because the Patriot
Right.
is. And
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
sorry,
Okay.
sorry, Rico. I apologize, but
So what
nah.
you're saying is that this is absolutely an L. You would give Rico an X factor if he won this game.
If Rico wins this game,
How now? My fault. I said one X factor. How many X factors would he get if he won this game?
if Rico wins this game,
Hmm.
man, I may buy him a PS5. Hell, I don't
Damn.
know.
That's hard.
I may get him a PS5 just for another room in his house. I don't know, but I just don't
Wow.
think it happening. I don't see it
Okay.
happen. I don't
Okay.
think it's happening against the Patriots. Um,
Mm, okay.
it's going to be a tough time frame, obviously, for him to come back as we express condolence for him and his family at this
Definitely.
place. Um, but with as much love as I have for you, Rico, there's also an understanding that you are going to get your ass kicked against the Patriots. We're just not
Oh.
going to deny that. Eagles and
Wow.
Texans. Um, Not really sure how to grade this game, and I think it has to do with the fact that uh, the games that the Texans won last year. No, nothing against you, Texans. Please understand that they were against nobody, and the games that
Mm.
he lost were absolutely against users that said you have the Texans and I be damned. And I think that's what's going to
Mm.
happen in this game if the Eagles is playing to play. Is we're going to see a similar role. How do you see it fall?
I'm going to. I'm gonna take the Eagles on this one. I'm gonna take the Eagles on this one because I do feel like that roster is still not the greatest, but I mean Deshaun erases so much. Like there's so much that Deshaun gives you. Deshaun has that superstar. Lindsey's good. Um, I mean, it's basically it's those two and Cooks, and I mean, you know, I'm not gonna say it's a blowout, but I'm gonna lean towards the Eagles on this one.
Well, no, I agree. I agree. I think the Texans are a hell of a player. But there are certain guys in the NFC that I'm just not sure if he gets over the hump with. But then again, I have seen the Eagles lose some games that kind of shocked me. So I mean, we'll see. But I'm gonna go with the Eagles as well. Ravens and Bucks. This should. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this, and I hope it's not taken the wrong way. This should
Uh-oh.
be a good game.
Mm.
It should be.
Sounds like you saying it's not gonna be though.
But
There it is. Okay, I was like, yeah. All right.
I don't think that's going to happen the way that there are hopes and dreams of in certain spaces, certain teams, certain situations.
Certain hopes and
Ravens,
dreams. Like when do you typically have dreams? When does that happen?
I mean, I think it first starts when you turn your PlayStation on. And then
Okay.
I think that dream stops
Oh,
when you get your first when you make your first catch and catch an immediate hit stick
mm.
and you realize the players that you did have
Oh,
are
oh no.
no longer on the team. And so we got to talk about this game because of a lot of things. One, of course, everybody knows obviously the Ravens and Bucks. Um,
Wow.
they made the trade. Lamar Jackson. I
Made
don't
history.
remember. I think the Ravens got Christian McCaffrey.
They did.
Um, I mean, there were definitely some different pieces involved in this trade.
Yeah. There was a
Um,
lot. There was a haul.
so I'm going to ask you, who won the trade?
So
Not as far as cap situation, not as far as salary, not just by taking one player and moving him to the other. Who won the trade?
so it's a hard thing to answer, but whenever you end up with Lamar Jackson, you won. Now, just because of the importance of the position, do I think he got a lot? Do I think he got a lot in return? Absolutely. He turned that one player into five solid pieces. Beautifully done. Masterfully done. I personally would hold on to Lamar. That's just me. Um, just because there is no other Lamar. Um, so it just depends. Like if you're looking at everything he got back and looking at what he has the potential to do with it, yeah. And the cap wise, absolutely. As far as playing the game this season, winning right now, no question, the team that ended up with Lamar won.
Yeah, I think the Bucks won the trade. I think mainly because of the quarterback situation he had, Tom Brady being out of there, one, not having anybody to replace that, even though he didn't even play with Tom. That's neither here nor there. And
Mm,
then, um, but I do think the Ravens won long term as well from a financial perspective for his team.
financial for
Um,
sure.
so I think he benefits in some areas there. Um, and however, I don't think this is a close game between the Bucks and the Ravens. I don't. I, th- I, and the biggest reason, the biggest reason is because the Bucks are stacked in a lot of areas. One, the offensive line, he's decent there.
Mm-mm.
I said decent, not great. I said he's decent, decent. But I mean, you don't really need a great offensive line when you've got a quarterback
That's just taking off.
that
Yeah.
can get you out of, oh, you strafed around my left tackle. Oh no, what am I going to do? I'm just going to
Yep.
use my 95 speed and get the fuck out of here, get the fuck out of Dodge. And so, this may be a close game because of the fact that Ben did have Lamar. He understands how to play with him, the strengths and weaknesses. They've obviously probably played each other in a head to head because I just assume. But I expect the Bucks to win this game. What is your take?
I'm calling upset of the century. I'm calling the Ravens, and it's not even going to be a close game.
I think that's what you would like to see.
No, 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 no. So, hear me out.
Go ahead.
So, um, yes, he has Lamar. Definitely has Lamar. Um, that's fantastic. I'm looking at. I'm just looking at his weapons and options. Weapons and options. He's still got some great speed at receiver. Uh, you gotta respect Gronk. I don't care how slow he is. OJ Howard, no pushover, no slouch. Gotta respect it.
I, I,
I'm looking at his running backs. Okay? I'm looking at the fact that his stud left tackle is now on the Ravens.
I'm about to. Are you ready?
I'm
Are you
I'm
ready?
looking at that.
Are you ready?
Listen. I just I feel like I just feel like this game is set up for Ben to know Lamar, know what Lamar can and cannot do, know how to defend that, and how to lure him into making those decisions. I feel like that's what he's set up for. I believe
In
that's what's
theory,
gonna happen.
in theory, that's in theory. And what you're saying makes sense. However, I'm going to tell you why, and this is one of the reasons why I love doing radio shows, and this is something we are going to add to the show, is when we have, because to me this is a game of the week. Um,
Mm,
you make the rotation between removing Lamar from that offense, and I mean, you've got to change your offense obviously in some way. So
yeah.
the reason why I'm saying the Ravens doesn't pull this game out has everything to do with the results of the games he played against the Steelers. And the thing about the Steelers is his defensive style is very similar to the Bucks.
Mm,
And when I look at the stats of this game, I'm not looking at the turnovers that he had with Tua, or I guess someone named him Tuna, which I got a feeling like that was Gruski before this trade happened. Um, but I'm not looking at from a turnover perspective or anything like that on offense. He obviously was able to pass the ball and get, the ball to Marquise Brown. This is exactly what I'm looking at. You have Christian McCaffrey and you ran the
10
ball
carries.
10 times for 29 yards.
Did he throw it to him a lot?
10 times for 29 yards. He had 6 catches for 43.
Mm, Yeah, no.
You've got a 90. You got the
Best running back on the game.
best running back on the game. If he is not going to use Christian McCaffrey in that offense
Mm,
and run the
mm, mm, mm.
football, I don't see the purpose of the trade.
That's a good point.
I don't see, so, and that is why I think that when it comes to that game alone, I don't think the Ravens pulls this out if he's not willing to run the ball and give McCaffrey a chance. The next game we have is the Panthers and the Bears. I expect Papo to get his first game here. Um,
Same.
yeah, against Danny. I haven't watched too many of Danny's streams, so I'm not exactly sure why the scores look like the way they do. But he hasn't been able to pull out a game. It feels like in a while. So I mean, I just got to check that out and see what's going on there. The Seahawks and the Chiefs. This is one of those games where it really comes down to if the Chiefs is available. Quiet is kept. The Chiefs is actually good at Madden. I
He
think,
can play.
yeah, Buddy can play.
He can play.
He just has the worst schedule known to man, and so forced losses. I think, to be honest with you, I think he's one of the better players in my division. Um, but I just think he just misses too many games. But if him and Rome play, who do you got pulling it out?
Man. I mean, if I had to pick between uh War of 1912 veteran and the Hall of Fame Purple Heart recipient, and then the Chiefs. I mean, that's a tough one. I don't know. I'm gonna say if they do play, and this is all hypothetical. If they do play, I'm going to lean towards the Seahawks simply because he just lost, and that loss didn't sit too well with him, and he started grappling and tongue wrestling in the chat. So I definitely think he's focused. He's ready to win, and the fact that he's still awake right now. That tells me that his dedication level is different. He must be off and headed to the early bird special at IHOP tomorrow, so he's just gonna stay up through it. So yeah, no, I'm gonna lean towards Seahawks if they play.
Yeah, I think the Seahawks pull out this game as well, and I think it's going to have a lot to do with. I've Rome has a trend, and now that he's played in the league for a few years, I'm starting to pick up on it. When
Mm,
he's against a financial wall,
well,
where he realizes I
this
have
is
to
it.
win now because next year, oh, I'm not going to be able to sign anybody. Just what it is. Like he can't. There's certain people he's going to have to let go. He
Mm,
plays his best season. I don't know what that's about. The years that he last year where I thought he should have made it further than what he did in the playoffs,
yeah.
I was not shocked that he beat J Rose. Didn't shock me at all. To be honest with you, I was shocked that the score was even close because when I've just noticed a trend when he is in a
Oh, you're
position.
talking about that game to get into the playoffs. I was like, yeah, okay. I
Yeah,
just want to check because he took a severe L in the playoffs.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. So, um, I think the situation where he's in this year, I think he'll have a pretty decent year, but I'm Seahawks as well. 49ers and the Rams. One time is 2-1 as well as um Gruski. I think the train stops right here for one time. I think 2-1 is a hell of a position to be in at this point, but I think this is where
I think there's no shame in 2-2 for him.
yeah, there's no shame in 2-2. Um, I just
I do believe that he has a different focus. I think he's found a playbook that suits him, and I do believe he's found a play style that suits him. Um, and quiet is kept. he's always had some kind of defensive aptitude that was pretty good.
Absolutely.
Um, I just think that when he's forced to lean on his pass, that's been a liability. But he appears to be pulling some passes out right now. So I'm still picking the Rams, but I am I have
Well,
paid attention.
I do expect one time to win some games this year. I mean, he won games
Hmm.
last year. Let's not act like he didn't win last year, but I do expect him to win some games this year. Be a tad bit more competitive. I don't think this game will be a blowout because of the style that one time's playing right now. I do think he
Hmm.
has a defense to compete against Gruski, but I think I agree he's going to ultimately fall short. And then
Yes.
we have Cowboys and the Giants, which, of course, Sean's still in the league. He's got some stuff going on at this point, and of course, Tristan, he bought his internet from one of those Metro PCS stores, and he didn't realize that you can't use your cell phone to play Madden. So we'll see how this game plays out. Most likely, I think the Giants would win this game. The
Hmm.
Chargers and myself, um, I'll let you call it. I think. I mean, hell, I ain't gonna lie. I got some heat for Frizzle right now.
I mean, you
We definitely.
definitely owe Frizzle because Frizzle definitely put your late playoff aspirations to bed last year.
He did. He did.
He I like it was an incredible psych out that I thought was very well executed, and it's the kind of thing they have to do to get you. So yeah, wow, he's still awake. Yeah, I agree with Rome. I do I do think the Chargers are definitely pulling this one out because I kind of think he has some space in your mind up there, and he's just renting it out for free, and he's eating chips and he has his feet on your coffee table at this point.
Oh no, no, no. And I don't disagree. I think the Chargers has Frizzle's always been a good player. He's been a good player in the last league that we played in. I think, or the league that we currently play in. He has one of those styles that I just struggle with, and um, but you got me fucked up this week, Frizzle, between Ivan and Rome in the chat, and now it looks like Earl saying that rent is rent free. Um, yeah,
Mm,
I just want everybody to know last week was not a fluke against the Rams. Y'all got me fucked up, but
oh,
again, we will see Broncos and Steelers. I mean, Browns and Steelers. We have between Austin Tatius. I would really love to
mm,
know where
oh.
I still just want to know where that name came from. Um, I wonder if he was in like Vegas or San Francisco but anywho, and then he's playing DTZ with the Browns. Who do you got pulling this game out?
Uh, before I answer that, I just want to address Gursky and tell him that that's highly inaccurate. But yeah, um, I'm going to take the Steelers on this one. Just because I've seen a lot of trades go down for the Browns in the wrong way. Uh, no shock at other people in the chat taking the Steelers as well. It's not really that surprising. But I think DTZ has traded away his defense. And I do think when you trade defense for offense, that's never really
It's not
the
smart.
best thing that you can
It's
do.
not smart.
I do feel like last year he was able to really put pressure on folks because he's getting
Oh, that's a
pass rushing and
lie.
blitzing.
That's a lie.
No. I don't believe it was the eight forced wins.
It was absolutely the
Hear
eight
me out.
force wins.
Hear
It
me
was
out. No.
absolutely.
Hear me out. It was not the 10 forced wins that did it last year. It was that hard nosed defense that because it's
It
serious.
was that hard
It's
nosed.
major.
It was a hard nosed force wins that were major, and the
Yeah.
reason The reason I say that is this, because the thing about Madden that we all understand is each game that you win, it impacts morale. And when the morale goes up, you get a plus or two upgrade on a player. It's
Man,
not
you can get
necessary.
up to a +3 on them joints, man. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
and so they won't even necessarily get like a legit upgrade. It just gives them a morale upgrade, and it does it across the board for
Yeah.
specific attributes. So, hell yes, that impacted his season. But here's the thing, I'll be sorry, DTZ, you my dog, you already know that. But Ball did not lie when we got to the playoffs,
Oh
and
no.
therefore he did not make it to the next round, and
Wow.
that made my soul happy only because he got away with murder for the whole season. he
Nah,
got
nah,
he,
that's not right. We not about to act like he didn't earn those 11 force wins. We not
oh
doing
yeah, I
that.
mean it's not his fault that people didn't schedule. It's absolutely not his fault that people didn't schedule. But
Exactly.
um,
So I mean, hey,
I think he's wanted.
he's out there to prove the world that it wasn't a fluke.
I think DTZ is 1-2, and I think everyone's going to see the true record if yeah. And so Steelers. Steelers wins this game, and then of course Jay Rose against the Falcons. This game is going to be a lot of fun to see because you have the obviously Jay Rose starting the season
Yeah,
at 2-1. The Falcons, I believe, is undefeated. I
undefeated,
believe
undefeated. Yeah. Well, so I I definitely
he beat shit up by down somebody's leg this year. I don't know who.
I definitely would love to see both of these teams take a L. I'm still petitioning the creators of the game to find a way for both teams to lose. Um, I definitely feel like I definitely feel like Jay Rose has found something because to hang 60 on Isaiah.
That's not that difficult.
Oh boy, here we go. All right.
It's not that difficult.
No, no, no. All right, so
Ivan,
I'm
we are the
just
sports show. Hold on. Hold on.
hey,
Wait. This is first taken undisputed. This is what we are. Let's be real. What was Isaiah getting away with last year that is not going to work in the same level on comp? What was he getting away with last year? A fucking deep ball to a 95 overall receiver. Let's just be real. Buddy was getting away with murder, and nah, son. That does not work against great users all game. Great users, you got one time to thug me on a deep ball. If you look at the game with the Steelers and the Ravens, Ben got what he got two passes off to Marquise Brown deep. After that, it was like, all right, bet. Uh, do it again.
mm,
I nah.
mm,
Now here's the thing. I don't think that Isaiah's trash. That's like I think Isaiah saw Chesney or whatever his name is and was like, "Oh, okay, I got to get back in the game. Let me go deep." And yeah. Oh, Earl said, "Wow, I'm putting the knowledge of teams out." I mean, yeah. I mean, Jay Rose likes to run. I mean, yes, Jay Rose absolutely loves crossers. That's just
Earl.
that's
In all fairness, he did talk about deep stretches, tissue massages, stretches, and leaning forward, reaching stretches. I'm just saying that's it's been put out there. So I tell you what though.
Jub likes to front and blitz on third down. Like I put everybody shit out there.
Oh my God, it's coming. Hey, blitz is coming. Third down.
Like don't look. I will literally spoil every single team on this list. Like don't.
Damn.
but
Yeah.
uh,
Now if I'm forced to pick a team, I'm gonna pick the Cardinals because like my hatred for them is a little bit less than my hatred for the Falcons is right now.
Yeah, it showed
So
the
I'm
Falcons
I'm
person.
I'm gonna go ahead and pick the Cardinals on this one. And again, hopefully somehow they both find a way to lose. That'd be phenomenal. But yeah, that's what I got on that.
Hmm. I think by this time, because this will be in
Have
advance.
you noticed that our radio shows nothing good happens after 11 o'clock? That's where the most flagrant starts to come out. I'm just
Hmm.
noticing that. Okay,
Hmm.
okay, continue.
What I think is going to happen in this game is that yes, Brad, I said it. I said it. And, but I think with this game being that it's probably going to be played on the weekend, which
Mm.
means that J Rose just loves his family time and he eats heavy. He loves food. He loves his carbs, so he'll most likely be sleepy. Um,
Oh
I
no!
expect the Falcons to win this game.
Mm.
I expect the Falcons to pull this out. Titans and Colts. Um, I mean, I think it's really simple for Bloodshed. I think he has a team that's built to win games. I think he just has to choose. It's just play calling for him. Period. You
I
ha-
agree.
he has the pieces. I've played him with the Titans. It's just
Yeah.
play calling. It's that simple. Because Derrick Henry is going to fall forward. It is play calling. I mean, this is
Yeah.
probably a perfect game. I think playing against the Colts where um, you get to learn from a guy that's going to do nothing but run the football, which
Mm.
I don't understand how.
Mm. Mm.
We're not even gonna go there, but
Wow.
man, fucking 48 runs the ball 48 times, passes the ball maybe twice.
Twice.
This
Twice.
is a perfect game, I think, for Bloodshed to just, I mean, just repeat what you see, play defense, go from there. But the Colts wins this game. With all that being said, the Colts win.
Earl, fantastic point.
Yeah, the Colts wins this game. And then the Bengals and yourself, you get to play Mr. Bengals football, as he says it.
Well, I tell you
Um,
what, this game is going to make my season. This determines whether or not I open up the fire sale and uh, I become Picks R Us, or we try to turn it around and right the ship. Um, we'll see. I've got no call on it. We just gonna go out there and try our best to play a hell of a goddamn ball. And
sound, sound like you finna open the stove because I don't know
I
why.
can't throw with this quarterback.
I don't know
I
why you.
can't do it, bro. He's horrible.
I don't know why you working
Um,
so hard to keep them doors closed because and the fucking trade stove out of New Orleans is coming open
oh my
for the
god.
services of the NFL. No, no. No, but jumping over, I expect you and Jeremy to have a close game just because of the style that he plays. I mean,
Uh,
I think to be honest with you, I think Jeremy plays into your style of defense, which makes that game more interesting than um. Well, I mean, we don't want to talk about the past, but but of course, guys, we are jumping over to the standings real quick, and we'll make this pretty quick. I think really, I guess we really have one. I guess we really have one question for you, Ivan, through each of these, and we'll kind of get through it pretty quick as we get close to ending the show.
wow.
AFC North. Who do you expect to stand out, and who's who's going to be the standout, and what record are you not surprised by?
I mean,
We're straight to the shits. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
oh, oh my God, I hate you so much. Ah, man, I'm gonna say the Steelers takes this division. Um, I am surprised by oh my God. Yeah, I mean, it's been a rough start for the Ravens. It's been a rough start for my guy. I do hope I do hope that the trades will help out. Um, I was very surprised at the Browns game with the Raiders. Um, the Raiders were up by a lot, and DTZ fought to come back in that game.
He got
But
greedy.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I mean, I'm kind of surprised by his 1-2 record. Um, there's those are the surprises. I do expect the Steelers to come out with that division. But hey, Jeremy could be 4-0 this time next week. So I got nothing, man. I'm congrats to them for being 3-0, even though they transmogrified a linebacker into a ghost and threw right through him for the fourth down. But that's neither here nor there. Um, yeah, so that's what I think about that. I'm gonna pick the Steelers to claim that division like they were supposed to last year.
I'm not surprised by any situation in this division, and to be honest with you, I think the picture is going to stay exactly how it looks. Um,
Wow.
well, what I mean is that you're going to have the Bengals and Steelers fighting for the division. I
Mm,
think, like again, like I stated, no disrespect to DTZ. I mean, but you had the force win hand of God, and uh, made it to the playoffs. I don't expect that to change. I mean, I absolutely expected that to change this year. Um, and so and then, Ben made the trade obviously to a much lower level quarterback,
much lower
between,
level.
compared to Lamar Jackson. I think that's going to hurt him a lot. I mean, look, the first thing I noticed is points for. I mean, he's put up 42 points in 3 games. That's not a typical scoreline for Ben, even though he has played some tough opponents up to this point. But I don't think the division's going to change with the Bengals or Steelers fighting that in that division. The AFC South, um, any, I mean, you got 3-2-0s up to this point. Kind of hard to say, but what's your expectation?
I I have this really wild theory. This theory is that maybe the Colts and the Jaguar and the Texans are one and the same. Because like I don't remember them playing their game against each other last year.
They played it.
They did.
Yeah, they
Okay.
played. Hmm.
I take it back then. I was trying to come with a wild conspiracy theory. Um, just because I am indeed an asshole, I'm gonna pick top to win this division. Just out of sheer disrespect.
Mm. That's a. I, the Honda Civics, do they putter? Do they? So
Mm.
for the AFC South, this one is a hard argument for me because, um, I'm not gonna say I disrespected, um, the Texans earlier.
Mm.
Here's the thing: I think Texans is the best regular season player in this group.
Uh-huh.
I mean, the first thing I noticed is he's put up 62 points to start the season, with 14 points against. Let me tell you, that is incredible to do with that defense.
Yep,
Period. So, I
that's
think
true.
I think Buddy's got the regular season skill, edge. The I mean, the Colts is obviously he won the Super Bowl, so you have to give him credit. Um,
Definitely.
Top is 2-0 in this division, but I don't see It's going to be between the Texans and Colts at some point. I don't think the Jags beats either one of those teams. I just think Bloodshed's in an uncomfortable division. Um, Bloodshed and One Time to me are just in tough situations. So, um, not a disagreeing. I'm not disagreeing that Top won't be in the the hunt, but I don't. I expect this division to finish out with the Texans or Colts sitting in that one spot. So
Hmm.
I guess we're kind of split on that one. AFC East is finally looking exactly how I thought
The
it should
way it's
have
supposed to
last
look.
year.
Yeah, it's starting to look the way it's supposed to look.
Starting to look like the Bills gives a fuck
Yeah.
playing his games. Uh, he's acting like he has a team that should dominate. Um, Fred's being Fred, and of course everybody knows the Jets situation. So I guess the question is, do you expect any kind of fight out of Money Mike and those Patriots?
Uh, yeah, I do. Um, I mean, at some point he's gonna figure that offense out, and that's gonna be that's gonna be when it kind of flips. But I do believe that the Bills has an arsenal over there. I think that's their division. I think the Bills are gonna take that pretty easily.
I expect the Bills to have one of the better seasons he's had in the league up to this point or since he's been in here.
Hmm.
Um, I you know I expect that to happen. I also expect the Patriots to win some games, but I agree the Bills is going to take this one. And I don't think it's going to be close by the time they finish out. So I agree. AFC West, which is my division, myself, Frizzle. You have Jacob and the Chiefs. Did I lose you?
No, no, no. I think we have a repeat of last year.
You just wanted me to end the show on some hostility. That's what you thought.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I'm gonna tell you why I like my chances, even though when you look at the score or points for, points against, I've won nothing but close games up to this point. Same thing with Frizzle. The only reason I like my chances is because we have to play. Um, excuse me. We're having to play um, one of the tougher divisions in the NFC, and I don't give any of those guys a shot against that division. I don't give any of them. If we all have to play similar guys in the NFC, I just don't expect. I expect Frizzle to pull some of those games out. So it could be. It could. Like you said, like last year, it could be the same picture between me and Frizzle. So I don't disagree. And then jumping over to the NFC, we have looking like a surprising flip, although, there have been flukes in the league before with Earl, Mike, Isaiah, and Danny. Um, Isaiah's 1-2.
Yeah.
How do you see this one playing out?
I still see Isaiah winning that division. I do think it's going to be harder for him to do it this year just because he's got Mike over there. But I want to, like, I don't know, man. Like, so, like, I look at Earl and I look at that differential. That's really good. Now I know a lot of that's inflated because he just played Danny. They had a hot stretch session with that one. But I mean, I know Earl can play defense. I know he can run the ball. Jared Goff doesn't sell him out, he can win some games. Uh, I'm gonna say right now, I'm gonna say Vikings, Packers, then Lions. But I'm not gonna say any of those three can't make the playoffs. But no, I'm gonna stick with the Vikings. I'm gonna stick with the Vikings on there. I think that's the order, but I'm gonna stick with the Vikings on there.
Um, I I agree that Earl's not going to like what I'm about to say. Um, it's going to be between the Vikings and the Packers. Whatever Earl has done up to this point is great, but what it comes down to for me every year is how serious is Isaiah playing? Period.
Hmm.
If Buddy has it on his mind, nobody in the NFC is going to get to the Super Bowl above him. Period. That's just how I see it. I don't care what you do against Buddy in the regular season. He is one of the few guys in the league that come playoffs. Yeah, it's. I think last season, as a matter of fact, last season somebody beat him. I think
It
it
was
was like,
Brewski.
yeah, beat him 59-20, and
Real
then
bad.
turns around in the playoffs, and I think Risky only scored 7 in that game when they played each other in the playoffs. I mean, so it just comes down to where Isaiah's head is as far as getting to the Super Bowl. Earl's, I mean, he's 2-1 obviously at this point, so you got to give him credit. But I just don't think that team can hold up long term against some of the squads that are in the league right now. You take away certain aspects of Earl's game away, and just what do you have? And I think that's the struggle. That's why I'm going to give the Packers and Isaiah with the Vikings the edge, but Earl is definitely going to be in the hunt. NFC South, um, go ahead.
Man, I'm not. I don't have any. I have no opinion on this right now. Uh, yeah, I got nothing on this right now. Right now, I'm not even in the division. Uh, geez, I don't even know what to say. I would love to say it's not going to be the Falcons, but it's probably going to be the Falcons. Um, we'll see what Lamar does for the Bucks, but yeah, if I had to pick a team, I'd pick the Falcons right now.
I I think what it comes down to me for this division, I mean, obviously, I think what you're going to see is that it's going to be between the Falcons and the Bucks. You know, you've got a very young quarterback situation. It's going to take a season just to get him to a respectable place. And then, I mean, Papo just hasn't quit losing close games. He's literally lost 3 straight games where it was, I think, the Bengals gets a wacky interception at the end of the game that, or no, no, the Bengals actually caught a pass that Papo should have picked off. And, that's the difference in the game. He loses a close game, I believe, against the Rams. I mean, there were several close games that he's lost. And then you have, but then on the flip side, Brad loses to one time, and that to me is a game that you can't lose. And so I think the biggest question for this division for me with the Falcons and the Bucks are the Falcons is not going to lose games that he shouldn't. Can Brad play with the same mindset and win the games that he's supposed to with Lamar? And I think that'll be the difference. Um, but unfortunately, I think the two teams sitting at 0-3 with the Panthers and, of course, Mr. Fleur de Lis on the show. I think at this point, I mean, it's a tough hill to climb, but you can't necessarily say you guys are out of it because I mean, it's a long season, so we'll see. But Falcons and Bucks, I think, control the situation at this point. The NFC East, definitely not the least, but damn sure starting to look like it. The the Eagles sitting
Wow.
comfortably 2-0 with the football team. I don't think this situation changes. The
Wow.
Cowboys and Giants are kind of an undetermined situation. One has internet issues,
Where'd they get
and
that internet from?
oh man, it's crazy. You know how they have Bass Pro Shops?
Yeah.
Let me stop. The you got the Cowboys and Giants, and I think they'll most likely be fighting for that last spot. I mean, unfortunately Trisha doesn't have. I mean, he's got to figure out a situation with internet. That's just what it is. But um, Eagles are a football team. Who do you think has it long term?
Mm, if the Eagles win this game this week, they'll have a really nice head start, nice jump on the division. So I'm gonna call the football team to win the division. I still see them as the better user at this point, but I won't count the Eagles out. I do think they with the way they're playing right now, they're definitely looking like they're in line for a playoff spot. Jub has been triggered.
Oh yeah. I was just trying to make sure see if he was
And
still.
that was the point I wanted to make, man. Like you just moved forward because you assumed that I was dejected and checked out. I do still have a take. Uh,
Oh me?
the
Oh,
only
but
thing,
wait, hold on, wait. I knew you weren't checked out. I just knew
yeah.
that.
No, no, no,
Oh,
no, 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 no. I was
there's
talking. I
not.
was talking about the show.
There's not a lot. No, no, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
There's not a lot to say about 0-3.
and I wasn't about to say anything about that.
But
So,
yeah, that's what I'm
uh,
saying. I understood that. But
I'll address that. I'll address that one. Uh, off air.
hmm
But I did want to say that I do
that's a
believe
Twitter take.
Brad can. Oh, okay. I do believe that Brad can definitely challenge if the levels of sleep are high. If there is sleep, then all bets are off. If there's no sleep, okay, no shot. If there's sleep, and like I'm talking high levels of sleep, it all bets are off the table. That's it. That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely. And then looking at the football team and Eagles, I think this comes down to the conference games for this division. The last one we're looking at is the NFC West, which is uh interesting because every single team is 2-1. Um, you can't just disrespect one time right now. Can't do it. He's 2-1. No, I think the train is about to stop. I definitely think,
Mm.
I think every the huffing and puffing and the throwing the coal
Yeah.
in and all that. Yeah, it's about to shut down. They're about to
Okay.
hit. They're about to hit a brick going from
Mm.
going from San Francisco south and derail extremely fast. Although 2-2 keeps them in a good situation. Um, I mean, who do you think gets out of this division um, comfortably? Is probably the better question for this division. Who gets out of this division comfortably to make the playoffs?
I think it'd be the Rams. I think the Rams gets out comfortably. I feel like, as usual, Cardinals, Seahawks. Well, I mean, they all kind of did last year. I feel like they all all almost felt finished with the same record last year. I think there's going to be a lot of the interdivision games are going to matter the most. I will say that. And it looks like one time it said I've had enough being at the bottom of this division, and hey, I'd like to, I'd love for him to come up in there and throw a monkey wrench in all their plans.
Well, I tell
But
you what, Tina Turner had enough. She still got her ass beat.
oh my God,
I'll tell you that right now. I mean, look, hey, everybody has a fighting chance in each situation. He's 2-1, so he definitely makes it interesting. At least from the media perspective. But I do agree with you that I mean they're going to beat up on each other. If there's anything that I learned early, being that I've played J Rose the first week of the season and then Gruski, is all these motherfuckers play the same way.
mm.
All th-
We're going back to Explosion Madden Play Theater.
they all play the same way. I
Well,
didn't I forgot that you know J Rose.
man,
Yeah,
man,
they all
man,
three. They're all man.
man, oh man, oh man,
Man, did you know? Man, check this out, man.
man. I'm just
Man,
saying,
bro.
man, that's
Man, you
crazy.
know what's crazy,
Man,
man?
that's crazy, man.
Bro, it's not even the
Yeah.
ice cream truck. It's the ice
It's, I,
cream man
oh,
outside, dog.
the ice cream man. Oh my, man, oh man,
Like, next time my son is in front of me, I'm not gonna say, "Boy, tie your shoes." I'm gonna say,
man,
"Man, what are you doing?" Because this zone is not used out here. We prefer that this man gets this
man,
done. So, uh,
man. I tell you what, I don't think you could have said that any better, man.
that you know what's crazy, man, is like I woke up this morning, man, and things were just different, man. You
Man,
know,
right.
like so. Yeah, I mean, it's. I mean, if we don't know how to throw a clue out to all our mans that are in the league, then I don't know what to tell you because,
I mean, if you're not listening, man, you're not listening, man, or watching, man.
yeah.
Just saying,
Because if
man.
if you think in zone, I'm telling you, you are alone. Because man is the
Mm.
playing in the NFC
I'm
West
just saying.
stands.
I'm saying, like, if there was a like a study guide and like you saw three blank spaces, but they didn't give you the word, it might be man. Might be.
Man,
Just
you know
might
what's
be, man.
you know what's crazy is Caitlyn Jenner used to be
A man.
a man, bruh.
You know what,
So what?
man? Michael Jackson had a phenomenal song that touched my heart. It was something in the mirror. What was it? It was
Oh,
something in the mirror.
man in
Oh,
the
it's okay.
mirror.
It's man in the mirror. Okay, okay, okay.
It's and so that this division, although may be slightly different offensive. One thing I do know. Hold on, we're gonna have to include. Well, somebody just posted this in the chat. My soul is weak.
I can't talk.
Someone in the chat said. They said Rome was the last. They said Rome was the last man in the Civil War. I am done. I am weak. Yo, I think okay. Whoever wins this division, obviously you're blessed because. Oh man,
Oh
that was
man.
too much. Um,
Oh,
but
wow.
whoever wins
Yes,
this
sir.
division, I feel like I'm gonna be honest with you. Whoever wins this, whoever wins this division, I don't understand how they don't make it at least to the NFC Championship because it's a fucking dogfight over here.
I'll tell you exactly how they don't do it.
I think they wear each other out all season.
They kill each other. They kill each other. And I think about the game Rome played last year trying to get in against J. Rose. Probably played his best game all year just to get there and run into the football team and get Antonio Gibson to death. And then J. Rose, he played me. I won by a lot, but he was spent. Like
Yeah.
he was clearly
Yeah, he
spent.
was.
And now Gruski, he did get past that first round, but he ran up on a damn buzzsaw with damn Isaiah. You're clearly not fresh playing Isaiah. So they've got to figure it out. Like I think all three of them have a shot to repeat this year. They all look like they've made some moves that have put them in position. But yeah, no, they it's a hard road to hoe over there, you know, and they pretty much they wear each other out all year. It's great to have that kind of competition, but like there's no week you can take off over there. Everybody's 2-1, right? All four teams are 2-1. That's ridiculous.
You know, keep saying
That's crazy.
I mean, you know, they probably all have a man cave where
Oh my god.
they, you know, where they have a man cave with a little box that has a zone in it. It's not a lot, It's a little bit.
It's not a lot. It's just
Not
a
a lot.
little bit.
I mean, I think I agree. Like the mental aspect of playing tough games week to week. Oh, wait a minute. But
No,
the
man, oh man, all
I
right.
gotta close the chat because I'm not gonna be able to finish the show. But I think you're right. I think the mental aspect of playing these kind of games week to week, um, it's just a relief just to get to the playoffs. Period.
Uh-huh.
And that can be a mental. I mean, it's a fight. It's a
fight.
fight. It's a mental fight just to get there. That is why I love when we have somebody like, for example, tomorrow is going to be advanced. I am so happy when we advance on Friday because I know nobody's playing that night. One, except maybe two or three. Saturday is up in the air. Sunday is still trying to figure it out. I'm so happy that we don't play like back to back to back days because the mental part of this game, when you have tough games, can be some shit. And I think that I mean it's exactly what's happening with in this division as well as a few others. So it's too early to call it. One thing I can say is that Rome has two road wins.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing about I'm so glad that I saw that looking on here because
Uh-huh.
I want to bring up something to everybody in the league that
Wow.
was interesting to me last season that's already started this season.
Uh-huh.
It was incredibly difficult to win on the road last year. And I'm going to tell y'all how I know this.
That is seemingly flipped.
The home to road losses last season, majority of users outside of, no, we ain't gonna say no names, but they have a dolphin on there, but and a bird that flies. They have a black bird that flies in the sky. But outside of a few users, most
Oh my god.
teams, most teams in the league won at home. Majority of guys won at home, and I glean back to that home field advantage aspect on Madden that I hate so much. I can't wait until they realize this is too archaic. I just wish they gave us the ability to turn it off. That's really what I wish. Because I'm telling y'all right now, it would be turned off this season. I
Yeah, that
don't.
momentum. Yeah,
I don't.
I'm all for it
The
being gone.
reason, the only reason that I don't like momentum has everything to do with the fact that I get it. You have momentum, so your team's playing with more energy, or your quarterback's playing sharper as the game goes on. Less aspect of having fumbles. Um, you know, crowd is impacting the game, so the screen is shaking. All that shit is cool. The problem that I don't like is now all of a sudden the defensive user, because they have momentum, they can see your main route going across the screen. Now all of a sudden you can't see the icon. Um,
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden you're just down three before half, and all of a sudden the kicking meter disappears. All these
Yes.
things are a benefit when you have it, but I just don't. I,
When
I,
it's against you.
I just think that's too. I think they've taken that. They went too far into the whole momentum aspect on Madden that I just think is. I think it's overboard. I really do. Um, I'm not 100% against it. All I'm saying is I don't necessarily certain aspects of it I don't like. Um, I mean, hell, you get up on a guy 14-0, and all of a sudden momentum's a sumbitch, just like that.
Just like that.
Like, you better get down the field on a level of perfection, because now your chances of not getting blown out are slim to none. And I mean, who was playing today? I was watching their game while I was working. Oh, it was the Bills and the Packers. So I saw a play in their game, and the Bills threw a pass. I think who's the tight end of the Bills? Is it Knox? Yeah,
Knox.
Knox. Yeah, he threw a pass to the tight end. I think it was like a corner route,
Mhm.
and I noticed on one of the plays, because obviously watching Mike stream, that he couldn't see the aim point of where the ball was coming down.
Yeah, yeah. So like that, I hate that one. It's like where the icon, the target goes away. That is so hard to see the football. Number one,
Yes, yes.
that's hard.
Because I think and again, I only saw bits and pieces of that game, but that's I don't mind that one necessarily, but it's
No, it throws you off because
you know,
like if you're ball hawking out there, you're you're playing to a spot. You're playing to a spot, and if you don't know where the spot is, all you can see is the receiver. And if you don't know, so like you think about how important that is. The the spot indicator tells you where the ball is going. If you're sitting back in the zone and you're watching a route come across, but then you see that there's another route coming behind it, if you see that indicator, you ignore the receiver and you just shoot for the spot.
right.
You don't care about the receiver at this point anymore. If you don't have that indicator, you don't know which receiver it's being targeted at. Now you got to watch the receiver
Yeah,
because you damn sure are not going to see the ball.
at all.
You're not going to see it because
And you know what's
it's
so
you're
funny
not
about
going to
that?
see it.
You know what's so funny about that indicator too? The fact that you just mentioned that about not seeing the ball. I didn't notice this until I didn't notice it until I had a game. When that indicator is off, unless they're throwing a low pass like a drag or something like that,
Right,
I
you
mean,
don't see it.
you don't even see the ball being thrown. That's what's, you know
Yes, yes,
you don't even see the ball in the air getting to
man.
the.
Listen,
The only thing
listen.
you notice is the screen, like zooming into that situation, or like zooming into where the ball's being placed, and then you have to make a decision to either play the receiver or play the ball. And so, yeah, I mean, I think what I'm saying is my struggle with Madden this year is okay. if you want to add momentum, what are we going to do about abilities? Like something there, you have to give franchises a space to even out like okay, we're going to allow these abilities in the league, and we're going to eliminate the this aspect of momentum. Now, and again, guys, I understand most people are like, man, just leave the game alone, just play it how it's supposed to be played. I'm not, I'm not arguing that. I'm not saying that I'm looking to change anything. What I'm saying is, for all of you that are 15, 19, or 20 years old, understand I have been playing Madden since Madden 2000. Okay, that's okay. Okay, it's been a
That's hard.
minute,
That's
and
hard.
and I've seen the arcade aspect of Madden, and for whatever reason, we're going back to that on the next gen. I think most people would argue that last year's game wasn't a bad Madden. It had it had some terrible animation aspects to it. That was expected. Being on the PS5, I didn't expect it to be perfect the first one coming out. But I don't know. Again, I'm just kind of venting about like how I see the game, and like I wish franchise was a fully customized mode where you could go in and
Mm.
fully customize a league. Like, for example, if uh, uh, Dirty Glove wants the Bills, that's great. Take the Bills, but I want you to play J Stack in a whole season, and I also want to put J Rose and Rome in the same division, so I can,
Always.
pick your teams. But these are the guys you're going to play to get to the playoffs. I wish that that's what I think as franchises, as commissioners or guys that play in the league. I think that's stuff we're wanting to see. But anyways, guys, that's the show. We've probably ranted on enough. We want to thank the last Civil War veteran for tuning in. That was an epic bar. I was not ready for that. Uh,
No, not at all.
but ultimately, guys, man, uh,
Man, yeah.
y'all have a good night, and we will get back to you. Or if not the next advance, the one after. Peace.
Peace out. Peace out.